talk with one of my buddies who's a caster, and
Yeah.
other than casting my other stuff, no, I just kind of went in, did a little tryout, and then jumped in on those solos. It was really
Oh,
cool.
nice. What was the toughest part of it?
Um, Everybody runs production a little bit differently,
Yeah.
and it was both learning production and then also trying to realize that you don't always need to fill the dead space.
Yeah.
That sometimes the content in the tournament, especially in a tournament like that,
Yeah.
excuse me, would speak for itself. And so you don't
Hmm.
always have to fill the dead air.
Welcome to Tarducks, the podcast about content creators giving advice, suggestions, and telling us their experiences and stories. And I'm very excited to have one of Evasion's casters, Narwhal. Welcome.
Thanks for having me. Good to be here.
Excellent. So what I normally do is we start the podcast off with 3 rapid questions just to get things flowing. You ready?
All right. Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So, favorite song to play?
Favorite song to play? I've been stuck on this song called "Don't Lose Sight" by Lawrence for a really long time.
All right. In all of history, you get to spend a day with anyone in the world. Who are you spending it with?
Prince.
Oh, that's a good one. Yes.
Easily
Yeah.
Prince. Best to ever do it.
All right. Now, this is a weird one. What is your spirit animal? I'm probably guessing already know. I know what that is.
Probably a narwhal. Just
There
like
we
a
go.
mystical creature, stay with the brand.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
have a couple little animals tattooed.
Yeah. Oh,
Um,
cool.
So, yeah.
All right. So, where did the name come from?
So I had an issue where somebody was trying to dox me with my first Twitch name, and so I changed it to Lizard Lord, and that was just a decision that I made in my life,
Yeah.
and decided that was pretty cringy, which to be fair it was.
Yeah.
Was looking at animals. I was like, I don't know what animal I would, because I didn't want it to be, a chibi face picture where it didn't really suit me as well. So that is hilarious that's behind you right now. Shout out to Wildes for that.
Oh.
Um, but I decided on Narwhal. I thought narwhals were super cool. Made the multicolored rainbow horn. I thought that was cool. And then JP is my first 2 initials. So just went with that.
Excellent. All right. So now, when did you start playing video games?
I was always kind of a gamer. I never really got super into it until I was in college, and my buddy picked up CS:GO,
Yeah.
and I used to play it on my 13-inch MacBook Air. 40 frames per second. Got
Oh
all
my
the way
God.
to Master Guardian Elite, which is pretty cool, but went down very quickly. When my laptop kind of crapped the bed, I decided to get a PC instead.
Yeah.
Started playing PUBG, started playing whatever, and then I went to PAX in early 2020. Friend turned me on to Tarkov, and got in there. Before that, I'm a really big fan of the Fallout games. So
Yeah.
the kind of weapon condition and armor condition stuff really transferred over well from those.
Okay. Now, what is your all-time favorite game?
Fallout New Vegas.
Okay. Yep. I hear that a lot.
Yes.
Very cool.
Yeah. Amazing game.
Very cool. So now, what is your background? Prior, instead of, all along with streaming and content creation, you're a music teacher, correct?
Yes. Yeah, I teach kindergarten through 6th grade music, and I teach private piano on the side as well. I have a couple bands. Me and my buddy are in a duo band, and then I'm in another band called False Idols. Shout out to them. Kind of a rap group. I play bass in that group, and then I play a bunch of different instruments just whenever I want.
So a musical, like an not instrumental, but a rap group that actually has, instruments going along with them?
Yeah, we're all live instruments. We've got a
that's
drummer,
cool.
2 guitarists, bassist, and then our rapper's really awesome. So
Oh, that's really cool. What was the
yeah.
first instrument you learned to play?
First instrument I learned to play was saxophone. Played alto saxophone for a few years. And then I wanted to, it's not even one of my main instruments now.
Yeah.
I learned it in school, 5th, 6th grade,
Yeah,
7th and 8th grade, played that kind of instrument. But in 8th grade, I started wanting to pick up the piano. I wanted to play Imagine by John Lennon at my school's talent show. And my teacher, bless her heart, she's the reason I'm a teacher now. She let me come in and kind of just do piano during homeroom and play it. And over again, I didn't have any lessons. I just learned to play it. And I've been playing for, God, 12 years now almost.
Oh, wow. Ah, and she's the inspiration why you became a music teacher?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. I
neat.
decided I wanted to be that person for someone. So,
Oh, that's fantastic.
yeah.
All right. So what made you jump into streaming into Twitch?
I was always really interested in the streaming career aspect of it. I made, little YouTube music videos when I was a kid. Growing up through high school, just kind of like sharing stuff that I did. And I ended up getting into Twitch a little bit just to see kind of how it went and how it was going. Kind of got and lost traction a few times, as
Yeah.
everyone does, and kind of just really sunk into it when I started, doing more charity stuff. That's
Yeah.
really what drove me to continue to do it, to kind of perfect the craft and the production value element of the whole thing, and just gotta do as much good and reach as many people as I can.
Okay. Now, do your coworkers know you have this alter ego of, a streaming personality?
It's a fine line.
Yeah.
Most people don't know. I don't really like saying that, only because there's a lot of little ears around where I work, and having
Yeah.
kids know that you have an online persona is a fast way to lose your job.
Yep. I would assume that is true. So now, do you remember your first stream when you were first live?
Yeah, not maybe not the first one, but
Yeah.
um,
Or
I
that first
remember
time
I
somebody
had.
chatted, somebody typed in, "Hey, I like."
Right. So one of my buddies kind of got me into streaming, and I remember I had to come home to my parents' house to go to get my wisdom teeth out the next day. And so I was home. I was like in my parents' basement, like trying to stream off Wi-Fi, playing Fortnite, and my friend jumps in my Twitter DMs and he goes, "Hey, you're about to get raided." And I was like, "Oh, I don't even know what that is." And I sat there and I got a raid from like for like 800 people,
Oh my
and they
god.
just jumped in. I didn't know what to do. The only thing I had going for me was I had the audio set up already because I was already a production man like person in
Yeah.
music. Um, and it ended up being my buddy who got me into streaming got raided by Ninja while streaming
Oh,
Fortnite,
wow.
and I kind of got the residual like lurker raid afterwards.
Yeah.
And so that was like the coolest thing. And then I got my wisdom teeth out the next day.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Oh, isn't that a weird thing when somebody you don't know starts typing, "Hey," like, "Oh my god, I got somebody in my chat. What do I do? How do I act?"
Yeah, I mean it's weird because you have to decide in that moment like who do I want to be to this person?
Hmm.
Because especially when you're a smaller streamer, especially when you have 1 2 viewers, it's really like you can really reinvent yourself every time somebody new comes into chat because that's a whole nother opportunity to expand your content. If you're somebody that person likes, they're going to show them to your friends. So what kind of person do you want to be to that person?
Yeah.
It's almost like you have more of a freedom as a creator before you kind of establish this brand. So it's
Yeah.
constantly just trying over and over and over again and trying and failing and trying something and it didn't feel right and trying something and it didn't work. And it's a little bit scary, but I feel like once I started teaching, I got much better at doing the whole talking thing because I'm in
Yeah.
front of people that want to be entertained and taught every second of the day.
Yeah.
So it got a little bit easier with that, but it is a little bit terrifying when somebody you don't know comes in and says, "What's up?"
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. So what's been the highlight of, coming on to Twitch for you?
Definitely how much we're able to do for charity.
Yeah.
I try to do 4 or 5 charity pushes a year. We're in the middle of St Jude Play Live right now. Well, running towards the end of it. The very last event I'm going to do, and I'm sure you'll ask me about it, is the tournament,
Absolutely.
and that'll be my fourth tournament and like our eighth charity push on the channel, which is really cool. I think the stuff that the community really, especially the Tarkov community, is able to do together is
Yeah.
really, really cool. And when I was streaming other games, it wasn't there as much, but this is
Hmm.
such a tight knit community with everybody around that it's just been so cool to be able to do so much for people that need it.
Yeah. And now, what made you pick St. Jude's as your, that's your main charity, right?
So I do usually one push for St. Jude per year for St.
Yeah.
Jude Play Live. It's a really awesome program that they do every May. So May is St. Jude month. They do May everything actually from April 1st all the way till May 31st counts for it.
Okay.
They reach out to creators. They send care packages to all of their team streamers. So they sent me stuff like Bean Boozled and like a punishment spinner and like one of those things that you put inside your mouth that like makes
Oh
your
my
mouth
god.
open all the way.
Yeah.
They gave me like so much cool stuff to like incentivize people to donate and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So, but I've done things this year in particular. We did something with Marsha P. Johnson Foundation for through Stonewall in New York City. We did something with the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, a place to nourish health, which is a homeless shelter in Connecticut, and we also did something with Able Gamers this year, which has been really really cool.
That is really cool. Oh man, that's
Yeah, try to
fantastic.
spread the love as much as possible. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. So now what would you say is the toughest thing trying to do this as, a part-time career or, a big interest for you?
I think the toughest part for me was learning that nobody has to care. Um, like at school, for
Yeah.
example, it's a much different environment because even though I do teach music, like kids kind of do have to care at least a
Yeah.
little bit. They have
Yep.
to care enough to do the work. On the internet, nobody has to care ever, and they can choose to start and stop caring whenever that is. So the toughest part for me is creating a product and creating a production that's worth people caring and
Yeah.
doing things that are worth people caring.
Yeah.
And it was tough to kind of get away from, do I want them to care about me or do I want them to care about the cause? And really I want them to care about the cause. So I jumped more into the production value aspect of it. And
Yeah.
that's been working really great. And people have been really responding to it. So that's a great question. Thank you.
Excellent. And now how long have you been streaming?
I've been streaming since 2018.
Holy cow.
Yeah,
Wow.
February 2018, end of February.
Yeah. Now are you partnered or
No,
close to being partnered?
no, no, not really. I've mainly been focusing on the casting aspect. I'm not very consistent.
Yeah.
Work has just been crazy. Um, I'm looking forward to getting more consistent in this
Yeah.
next year, and I
Mhm.
think once that happens, it'll start coming, but not quite
Yeah.
yet. But we're on the path, doing as
Excellent.
much good as we can while we can.
Yeah, well, that was a question I was going to ask you. It's got to be difficult to have your normal career and then have this as, an alternative, just, as a hobby or something you wanted to grow, trying to balance the two.
Yeah, it's definitely a difficult hobby, and I'm still, I think everybody on some level is still kind of just trying to figure it out. But for me, it is really tough because when I'm at work, I'm on all the time.
Yeah.
Um, because when kids come into my room, I get 40 minutes with them once every 3 days,
Yeah.
and I have to be on and doing my job from the minute they walk in till the minute they leave.
Yeah.
Because most of the time, especially with the younger kids, if you lose them for a second, they're
Oh,
gone. You can't get them back.
yeah.
So I'm on all day. So coming from that and having to be kind of witty and fun and engaging, coming home and trying to do this sometimes, it's tough and it's
Yeah.
it's draining and it's hard, but I love it.
Excellent. And that's a good point. It's like, as with your career as a teacher, you don't have times during the day where you can pop on Twitter and do a couple of social things. From when you get there, from you get
Right.
home, and then the preparation for the next day is something that, the other careers people are doing, they may not have to do that.
Yeah, and it's tough because, especially with music, like we're building everything from scratch. We decide all of the different resources we use. We decide how our sequencing goes. We decide our curriculum every year. It's a lot, but I found that part of it I've kind of gotten into the rhythm of. The
Yeah.
last couple months have been concert season, and our
Yeah.
concert got
Oh,
moved from in person to online, and we had
oh
to
wow.
record the whole thing, and we learned 2 days beforehand. So I've just kind of been nuts.
Oh wow.
Um, it can get really overwhelming if you let it, but and I did let it because it it
Yeah.
happened. But now that I'm through it, I see it a little bit better, and every year you get better, so the job does
Yeah.
get easier. So I'm looking forward to, as it gets easier and easier, coming back to stream more because teaching
Yeah.
is really my first love, but streaming is really just an awesome outlet for creativity that's much different than teaching.
Absolutely. And you know, you actually just reminded me of something. Being a teacher, you had to go through COVID. And as a music
Yeah.
teacher, how does a music teacher deal with trying to teach little kids remotely?
Yeah, so that's a really great question. So when we went out 2020, first of all, my first year teaching was spring 2019.
Oh my God.
So
Okay.
I started January 2019. So I had that half of the year, and then I had my first full year was the year of COVID. So I taught for
Wow.
half that year, and then we went out. Luckily, having a streaming setup and all of that stuff helped a lot
Yeah.
with being able to do that. But it was a lot of non participation because kids weren't required to participate in specials most places.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'd get like 4 or 5 kids watching the lessons that I made every week.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Last year, we weren't allowed to do any singing at all. The only
Yeah.
singing that we could do is outside 12 feet apart with masks on, which
Oh my
was
God.
miserable.
Oh, I bet.
So really last year we had to focus on the rhythm and the active listening aspect, and every week I did an artist spotlight where we looked at an artist that's still alive because that's really
Yeah.
important, an artist that's still alive that kids would care about
Yeah.
to in order to like kind of keep them engaged and kind of keep them buying what I'm selling.
Yeah.
And then this year it's been a little bit more normal. We started this year being able to sing 3 feet apart with masks on for 15 minutes per class. So that was pretty nice. And now it's
Yeah.
just kind of normal. So
Well, that's good.
that's been pretty good. But getting back into it, kids are 1 or 2 years behind sometimes,
Yeah.
especially kindergarteners coming in. Most of them haven't had preschool.
Right.
And so some of them don't respond to their name. Like, and that's just kind of the way it is. But we're
Yeah.
doing battle with it. And I've said it a lot and I'll say it again. Teaching's kind of like a bad marriage. You almost never get your needs met, but you stay in it for the kids.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of what we're doing. We're leaning on each other and we're getting through it.
Yeah. Well, I got to think with that young age, missing a year of school and that, social aspect of things, just really probably you as a, primary teacher really sees that on the children.
Yeah, it's tough. And a couple things that are really tough is like the attention span is gone
Yeah.
because kids were home and they still are home and parents are still working and it's instant gratification on an iPad or a computer.
Yeah.
So they don't want to work for anything. And I shouldn't it's not every kid and it's not all the time, but
Hmm.
the attention spans go down a lot. And the other thing is like kids don't know how to treat each other or themselves.
Yeah.
We get a lot of self-deprecation, especially in the older kids,
Yeah.
and we get a lot of kids like they don't know that they're allowed to go up to other kids and ask to play with them. They just don't
Oh,
know
yeah.
because they haven't been allowed to do that. They're
Yeah.
conditioned to not want to be near people.
That's right. Holy cow.
It's tough. A lot of residual post-COVID effects,
Yeah.
but
And then,
again, we're there for them.
yeah. And you see it firsthand. That's
Yeah,
crazy. Wow.
yeah. It breaks your heart a little bit,
Oh,
but
I bet.
when you see them make those connections, it makes it worth it.
Oh, good. Now, what are some of your musical inspiration? Being a music teacher and playing in, in bands and whatnot, who'd you grow up listening to? Who do you like today?
Oh God. I grew up obviously, listening to Prince,
Yeah.
listening to a lot of Guns N' Roses, a lot of Incubus, Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
Middle school, super angsty, Avenged Sevenfold, Slipknot fan, avid Guitar
Wait,
Hero
hang on.
player.
Did
So
you
I
say
got into.
Slipknot in grade 7?
Oh yeah, I was super into Slipknot, 7 and 8. Oh, super into them, super into Green Day. Um, I listen a lot to like new age jazz now.
Yeah.
The kind of dense stuff that's a little bit tough to get into, but when you look at it, it's so impressive.
Yeah.
Um, but I take a lot of my inspiration from folk musicians. I take a lot of my inspiration from um people like John Bryant, people like Alan Stone, like these people that are just like virtuosic on their instruments.
Yeah.
But they also put out a product that's not too dense for the general population to enjoy.
Okay. Very
I
cool.
really enjoy that part because I don't think that I genuinely don't like it when people are music elitist kind of people.
Yeah.
I don't enjoy that. I think genuinely, and it's like my teaching philosophy that music is for everyone. So I don't think music needs to be super intense. Like I think there's a reason that people um like Olivia Rodrigo are super famous, and I think
Hmm.
that's really awesome for them and really awesome for the people that are buying what they're selling.
Yeah. Excellent. And there's just so much music out there today, and
Yeah.
it's hard to find some good stuff occasionally, but when you find that good one, it's like you just want to hang on to it, and it's just,
Yeah.
it's great.
Yeah, there's a lot of really awesome compilation artists now that go through and they pick music that they like and they
Yeah.
put them on compilation albums or playlists on Spotify. I do the same kind of thing. So if you find somebody that kind of vibes with your music, especially a lot of streamers do it now.
Yeah.
So if you find somebody who you enjoy their general music taste, you can probably find their compilation album and move with those kind of artists up,
Yeah.
which is really
Cool.
cool.
Cool. Now, do you do any, speaking of content, whatnot, do you do much on the YouTube or TikTok side of things?
I've dabbled in the
Yeah.
TikTok side of things. I've really been focused on Twitter. To
Yeah.
be honest, I've been focused. I do Sad Boy Sunday every Sunday on Twitter. I
Yeah.
post like a sad ballad every Sunday. It's just kind of a an expression thing, but
Yeah.
I haven't really been focused on other platforms, which is definitely to my detriment. But I've really just been enjoying doing the thing,
Yeah.
like streaming and hanging out with friends and making building bridges and relationships in this community that has so much to offer.
Yeah.
So that's been really my focus is building friendships and building a brand in the community so
Yeah.
that people know what they're getting when I show up.
Excellent. So I see on your Twitch page you got some sponsors. Who you want to give them a shout out? Who?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm sponsored by Zenny Optical. All the glasses that you see that I wear, I have like a bajillion pairs at this point, are from Zenny Optical. My favorite part about them, hashtag ad, is that their frames are super affordable. Like these frames, for example, are like I think they were 16.99, and the
Oh
single
wow!
vision prescription comes with the price of the frame.
Holy cow!
So you get the lenses with the frame, which is really cool. Made it affordable for me to get new glasses when I couldn't. I
Yeah.
literally got new glasses, and somebody at camp threw a dodgeball and broke them, and I had broken glasses for 2 years because I couldn't
Oh,
afford a new pair, and the frames were out of stock. So that was pretty cool. I'm also sponsored by Rise Brewing Company. They're a brewing company actually in Connecticut, which is really cool. They are all nitro cold brew. They have vegan options, oat milk and regular. They have London Fog, which is a milk tea. It's really really cool. They're really awesome. They've sponsored a lot of charity stuff.
excellent.
Yeah,
Cool. Now
I think that's
speaking.
it.
Oh, anything else? Yeah. That's
Yeah,
it.
I have one more. Yeah, I have Scary's CBD. It's a CBD company.
Oh,
Ships
cool.
anywhere free in the US. They're really awesome.
Excellent. All right. So now Tarkov.
Oh yeah.
It's addicting. It's like it's a video game on it's a crack like for video games.
Yeah.
So now how did you find it? You said one of your friends suggested it to you?
Yeah, my buddy. Shout out to Brick. Designs by Brick. He's awesome. Emmy award winning designer.
Oh,
He
cool.
shout out to him. We were at PAX together, and he's actually also from Connecticut. And he said, hey, you should try out this game. Everybody's playing this game, Tarkov. You should join us. And so I joined him one day, and I was terrible, and it was very confusing, and I
Mm-hmm.
hated it. And then the next day, I was like, hey, do you want to play that game again? Like, what are you doing today? And we
Yeah.
played for like 6 to 7 hours. And then the pandemic hit. And I was home every day, all day with nothing to do and no one to see.
Oh,
And so I streamed it solo for a little bit. A couple
yeah.
people who I knew previously came into stream, were like, hey, do you want to jump on and play with us? Started playing with a group, got hopelessly addicted, bought EOD, moved on with my life. Played it. I've taken a couple wipes off, but for the last few wipes, I've just been in it,
Yeah.
just doing it over and over again, loving the community, loving the game. I think it's such a cool concept that nobody's really perfected, but it's damn close.
Yeah,
I'm sorry if
absolutely.
I'm not supposed to swear.
No, you can swear all you want. I had spooky squirrel on here, and she didn't hold back on some cuss words, so it's all good.
Yeah.
So, what was the most difficult thing to learn with Tarkov?
Oh God, everything. Um,
Exactly.
I think the gunplay is so satisfying in this
Yeah.
game. And I think that was one of the parts that came super easy. But learning what stuff to pick up when
Yeah.
is the most difficult part for me. Um, I'll sell 4 vases just to get to Living High is Not a Crime Part 2 and be like, "Oh, I
Uh-huh.
need 2 of them now." It literally happened to me yesterday. I sold 4 and then I need them today. It's
Yeah.
like, why am I
Because
so
Nikita
dumb?
knows. No, you're
Yeah,
not dumb. He knows.
yes, he knows. He does. And so does Rangar. And Rangar told me all the information I needed and I didn't listen to him on his
Oh,
YouTube video. He's got great stuff on YouTube, so.
excellent. So what is this? What is it about Tarkov that hooks you? You said the gunplay is good. Yeah, the loot aspect of it, or just the immersion factor.
Yeah, I mean, I think all of it. I mean, you come for the immersion, you stay for the mechanics. I really, really like inertia, and I
Yeah.
know some people might not be in my corner here. I know they're not, but I really like inertia. I like how it changed movement. I like how you
Mm-hmm.
can't just. I like how peeking corners is a risk reward and not just a
Yeah.
floaty. I
Mm-hmm.
also like how it changed jumping mechanics, and I don't think enough
Yes.
people talk about how much it changed jumping mechanics. If you jump off that left foot at a dead sprint, you go like twice as far as normal. You can make jumps at the lowest strength that you couldn't make at the highest strength before they implemented inertia. That is super cool to me as somebody who's always loved movement and
Yeah.
who started this game watching Willers every day.
Yeah.
Is really, really cool to see myself do those moves and be able to just be so quick with it. That's really fun for me.
That's fantastic. So now how have you enjoyed, the whole 12-12 drop with VoIP and airdrops and everything like that?
Yeah, VoIP is the coolest thing in the world. I love it. I love VoIP. I was running with a couple people. I was running with Kings actually, and we were
Yeah.
running through customs. And he died, and I'm in mechanic, and I heard somebody ask me to neigh like a horse.
Oh my
And
God.
so I did it, and I walked around, and I said, it was a woman, and I said, "Oh, is that Lady?" Because my friend Lady Icon plays this game a lot, and she said, "I'm a lady." I said, "No, no, no. Are you Lady Icon?" And someone else said, "Oh, Lady Icon." I was like, "Yeah, yeah." And he's like, "You know Lady Icon?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Who is that?" And he's like, "Oh, it's Jay." Ended up being like Jay, Nixia, and part Panda. It was
Oh
like the
my God.
coolest thing ever. And they just knew who I was because like my friend is one of his mods, which is like
Yeah.
that was cool. Being able to like talk to scavs and get out that way. And
Yeah.
it's I think the coolest thing is it's changed the tournament atmosphere a lot,
Oh,
especially for
okay.
me.
Yeah.
I have a bingo board in my tournaments, and one of the tournament bingo board items is um it was betray someone on VoIP
Yeah.
last tournament, and now I've added by popular demand, I've added one that's extract with a friendly scav. So
Okay.
they can go either way. They aren't on the
Yeah.
same bingo part. So I think that's really cool to be able to do with people.
Uh,
That just wasn't possible.
yeah.
And that's so much fun.
I've seen that people now with VoIP, they have this alter voice
Yeah.
that comes out. It's like I play with this one guy, and he has a southern drawl for whatever reason. He's not anywhere near from the south, but when he starts VoIPing, he sounds like a Texan, and it's like, where did that come from?
That's so funny. I love that. I've thought about doing a series on YouTube, and maybe I'll do it this summer. Maybe I won't. Don't steal
Yeah.
my idea. But um, uh, doing 100 raids, voiping to everybody with an American accent, doing a
Yeah.
100 raids, voiping with everybody with a British accent, and
Oh.
seeing what the different like stats are. Like, do
Yeah.
I get nice people more often as a Brit or as an American? Like, I think
Right.
that's really cool.
Yeah. Play American servers with your English accent and see.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
See what happens. See what
That's
happens.
that's it. That would be interesting to see the statistics on that.
Yeah.
So now, you mainly roll with other people, or do you go solo sometimes?
It depends on what I'm doing. Mostly people, though. I
Yeah,
mostly play with a group of my friends. We have a really solid group. Um, Shout out to that group: Vax, Novak, Lady, Morty, Crayola. Anybody I'm forgetting? Wonderful, wonderful people over there. Summer, great, awesome people. So I run with them pretty much every day. We
yeah,
just get on whenever people get on. People come in, they go, wow, we just have a fun time. At this point in the wipe, I'm just memeing. I'm just
yeah,
having a good time. It's
yeah.
such a blast.
Isn't it crazy how the whole video game aspect? Like you said, every night you hop on with your people, as opposed to going out to the club or to the bar. It's coming home and just you're closer with these people than people in IRL.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that stems a lot out of having a shared common interest that you start with. It's a lot
Yeah.
easier to make friends over playing a Discord video game where you can kind of just feel safe
Yeah.
in an environment. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to
Yeah.
worry about what you're wearing. Like
Mhm.
if you're not an asshole, people
Yeah.
are usually fine, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. So what do you what's your prediction on what's going to happen? Because we've been in this limbo for a month or so. It's like, are we getting a wipe? Are we getting a
Yeah.
lighthouse? What's going on? What do you think?
I love to live in the ambiguity. I'm like completely different than every other Tarkov player. Like I love to live in the not knowing. I
Yeah.
love the lore aspect of the game. I think they've done, especially recently, such
Oh,
a good job like putting out lore and establishing storylines and stuff
yeah.
like that. Like that is so cool to me. So I just love like seeing it as it comes out and like
Yeah.
anticipating a nice guy's next video or
Yeah.
like one peg's next newsy news. Like I think that is so cool. I
Yeah.
think that's so fun. So I don't care. I'll
Yeah.
do whatever they want me to do. I'm just living for it. I think it's funny to watch too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's exciting when you see something on Twitter come out. It's like, okay, what is the meaning of this? And waiting for somebody to either
Yeah.
translate the Russian to English, and it's like, what does it all mean? And then going into the game and seeing what's happening. It is really cool.
Yeah, I've liked the little events here and there, the rogues on different maps, the
Yeah.
raiders on lighthouse. Like those are cool. Those are
Yeah.
little events that like just kind of keep it a little bit fresh for the people that like kind of have beat the game and like
Yeah.
have two kappas and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. So now you get to pick your ultimate squad. You get to roll within Tarkov. OGs, anybody. You call out the name, and they're going to be in a raid with you. Who are you taking in with you?
I get to pick like four with me.
Four. Yeah. Anybody.
Oh my
They're
god.
in. Who's your all-star raid squad?
Gotta go with my favorite Tarkov streamer, Claymore Plays.
Yep.
My absolute favorite Tarkov streamer, one of my favorite people, dear friend. Willers, dude's nuts. Would
Yeah.
love the chance to meet him. Um, God, let me think. This is a tough question, man.
There's a
This
lot of
is
good
tough.
people out
Those
there.
are two nutty people. I think I would definitely go with Gingy.
Yeah.
She's just a wonderful person to play with. Um, oh man, there's a lot of really, really good Tarkov players. There's a lot of
Who's-
really good people in the Tarkov community. It makes
Yeah.
it really difficult. Um,
Who's taking that last slot?
oh, it's got to go to Ash. Ash IV.
Yeah.
The dude is content on a stick. Like
Oh my God.
he's good at the game. He's a nice person. He's
Yeah.
fun to watch, and he's insane. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Absolutely.
that's the squad right
All
now.
right, I like it. So, casting. You were doing some casting for Evasion. How did that start?
Fluffy Bunny he's the head caster for Evasion. He put out
Yeah,
something saying, "Hey, we're looking for some casters to do some events." And I've casted before. I've done some casting stuff. I really wanted to get into casting, and a buddy of mine said, "Why don't you cast everything possible?
yeah,
You should be casting everything you possibly can." So I started doing tournaments,
yeah,
casting my own tournaments. I've casted CS in the past. I've casted Valorant, uh, PUBG, and Call of Duty. And I've been watching the Evasion stuff, and they put on a really great show. And I
yeah,
thought, hey, I think I could bring something to the table here. And so I filled out the application, and Bunny said, "All right, we're gonna try you on," and I just got addicted.
Oh, nice. Now, how did the first one go?
I was so nervous the first map.
Yeah,
So I casted the solos, and there were a bunch of different maps. I think there were 5, and the labs map. Like if you go back and watch the VOD, like you can hear me, and I'm just I'm talking so fast, and in between maps, I'm like, oh god, I got a message that just said, "Hey man, you're doing great. Calm down."
yeah,
And I was like, "Okay, you're right." And from then on, I was like cool and like
yeah,
collected, and I had so much fun. It was just the way that they do it, and the way that the other casters create an awesome environment was like
yeah,
just really fun. And I had a blast. It was like, as a fan of watching these tournaments and watching
yeah,
people play Tarkov in general, it was a surreal experience to be able to be the person that talks over everyone
yeah.
and kind of comments on the action. That was so cool for me.
Oh, cool.
And then the second one I did was even better. So
Yeah. Now, did you do any practice beforehand?
not specific practice.
Yeah.
I watched some, talks from casters. I, talk with one of my buddies who's a caster, and
Yeah.
other than casting my other stuff, no, I just kind of went in, did a little tryout, and then jumped in on those solos. It was really
Oh,
cool.
nice. What was the toughest part of it?
Um, Everybody runs production a little bit differently.
Yeah.
And it was both learning production and then also trying to realize that you don't always need to fill the dead space.
Yeah.
That sometimes the content in the tournament, especially in a tournament like that,
Yeah.
excuse me, would speak for itself. And so you don't
Hmm.
always have to fill the dead air.
Oh, that's good. That's a good one. And now, was it neat seeing behind the curtains on how an evasion tournament all went together?
Yeah. Yeah, it was really cool. I don't know how much I can really talk about
Right.
it,
Yeah.
but
No.
I don't want to give anything away by the way that they've, figured it
Yeah.
out. But there's a lot of people that make things work at
Yeah.
Evasion.
Very.
And everybody is top notch at their job,
Yeah.
and everybody's clearly there because they love to do it.
Yeah.
Sigma and Hotel run a tight ship,
Yeah.
and everybody that's on the production team is really, really awesome.
That's, I heard that from everybody who's been on the pod. They just speak volumes on how great Hotel and Sigma are, and just
Yeah.
everybody's such a good, cohesive team, and everybody just, it's a family.
And it is. And there's a lot of people there, and the word family gets thrown around on the internet a lot,
Yeah.
especially when people are talking about organizations and people friends that they've made. And but really they do everything possible, and everybody in the innovation on staff and in the community does everything to make
Yeah.
you feel welcome. And
Yeah.
if that's not family, I don't know what is.
Yeah. And speaking, of the community, you said you've played in other games or streamed other games, been in those communities, and then you've come to Tarkov. And I've only experienced the Tarkov community, and it's fantastic. I've got nothing but great things to say about the people I've met and just in general.
Yeah, Tarkov community is amazing, and I think a lot of that comes from the OGs like Willers, like people like Chicken Prism and Warren and those kind of people. They streamed this game to no one
Yeah.
and built their communities around, hey, we all love this game. We know it's not the biggest game in the world, but we love it. So let's make our community about this game.
Yeah.
And then new people, like, it wasn't really a huge Tarkov boom all at once.
Yeah.
People kind of came in by the thousands instead of the millions, like
Yeah.
a game like Call of Duty. And it wasn't all at once. They kind of came in by either watching streams or just learning how to play it and then watching streams to kind of figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
And they came into these communities that were founded on a basis of we're all going to respect each other because we all love this game so much.
Yeah.
And the Tarkov community kind of blossomed from that rather than an all-out cloud chase to get to the top,
Yeah.
which I think is much different than a lot of other games, and Tarkov benefits a lot from that.
Yeah. And it's what I've noticed is there's just so many different types of people in this community. You have everybody that you can think of, and it's really good to see.
Yeah, there's a lot of diversity around, not even just within people, but in the way that the people think about the game, in the way that
Yeah.
people play the game. A lot of
Mhm.
people just watch,
Yeah.
and that I don't see in a lot of other games.
No.
A lot of people just watch, and that is so cool. To build a game that's fun to play is one thing. To build a
Mhm.
game that's fun to watch and that still has kind of a slow pace like Tarkov,
Yeah.
that's something entirely different. And it's not just the devs we owe it to these pillars of the community
Yeah.
for really digging in and making not only just great gaming content, but people like Tulu and FairTX making awesome narrative YouTube content,
Yeah.
both long and short form. People like Wildez on TikTok really bringing the community together through memes. Like
Yeah.
that kind of extra work you don't see in a lot of other places. And again, Tarkov benefits from having that kind of mutually assured respect for 90% of the community.
Yeah. And also you can, Tarkov lets people who want to stream it different ways. You have Deadly,
Right.
who's like the storyteller. You have the landmarks that are just, cracking heads. And it's, and also to add on to that, I had Pesley on once, and he was talked about how Tarkov is like it's like the perfect game to stream because you have the pre-raid, you have going into raid, and then coming out, all these different stages that you have opportunities to talk to chat, and there's build up, there's just coming down, and sort of a chill, relaxing afterwards.
Right. And it's not like you're going in and getting out and going in and getting out. You don't have to do it
Right.
all at once. You have time when you're building a kit to talk about different aspects of the game and give your opinion. And
Yeah.
that's a really awesome, cool thing because people that are in your stream, they want your opinion. They value
Yeah.
your opinion. And there's so many different ways to play, and there's so many different ways to stream it, and there's so many different ways to think about every little thing going on in the game.
Yeah.
That yeah, it makes it absolutely amazingly streamable.
Yeah. So now, I just recently found out about your Narwars. All right, so let's talk about it. What is
Yeah.
Narwars?
So Narwars is the tournament name that I came up with a while back. Narwars won. Every Narwars has been a solo tournament until now. And so
Okay.
this is Narwars 4. This is the fourth Narwars. It is to benefit St Jude. So every competitor pays $5 to St Jude to enter, and it's really just a sign up. Um, it just depends on how many mods we can get. So we have 13 teams,
Yeah.
and it's kind of a kill race, kind of different. So there's no loot involved or private servers or anything like that isn't involved, but so they're on public servers with their duo. They can go to 3 maps: reserve, shoreline, or I believe it's reserve, shoreline, or customs. And they have different missions they have to complete, or different every kill is points. If they get the found and raid tag and survive, it's extra points. They get points for each person extracting. And then there's a bingo board. So each item
Cool.
is worth 10 points. And then if they get a bingo, it's worth an extra 10 points. And things on the bingo board include things like extract with a friendly scav, betray someone over VoiP, kill 3 bosses, and it doesn't have to all be in one.
Yeah.
One is like get a shooter-born kill, get a grenade kill, get a melee kill, and things like that are really cool because people in the tournament will come and decide, hey, we're all going to run on these servers.
Yeah.
These servers work for people, and I don't mandate that; they
Yeah.
do, and it ends up being, hey, Barbsky and someone else are going to VoIP to each other. Hey, let's melee fight. We're both in Narwars. And then they melee fight and somebody gets that bingo card and they get the PMC and dog tag.
Yeah.
Like that's really cool. It breeds that kind of friendly atmosphere.
Yeah.
And then afterwards everybody hangs out, and everybody last tournament, like half the people rated the winner, and it was really, really cool. So
Oh, cool.
looking forward to that kind of environment. There's no prize money or anything, which I think is
Yeah.
really it's different than a lot of other tournaments. And not saying that prize money is bad, I just can't afford it myself.
Yeah.
So there's no prize money. Everybody just comes together. We raise a crap ton of money for charity,
Yeah.
and that is the coolest thing in the world. So
Well, that speaks volumes to the community. Like you've got
absolutely
a good turnout for a tournament, and there's no prizes. It's just, I'm going to win Narwars and have fun.
Yeah, that is really cool to me.
Yeah.
And I make it very open-ended the way that you could participate,
Mm-hmm.
which I think helps as well. There's 3 maps. You can't run a map back to back.
Yeah.
But you don't have to run all 3 before you can go back to the first one. You just have to run
Okay.
each map at least once.
Yeah.
So I had interchange on the last one. A lot of people don't like interchange. They would run in, they would take the F1 extract.
Yeah.
They just throw a nade at a wall and wait for it to blow up. And then they'd be like, okay, I'm done with interchange. Now I can just ping pong between these other 2 maps for the rest of the
yeah.
night. So for this particular tournament, I chose all 3 maps that have bosses.
Yeah.
With a decent likelihood of spawning.
Yeah.
So that they can ping pong through whatever they want. And if they hate customs, reserve, or shoreline in particular, they can ping pong to another map and still have a chance to get a boss and still have a chance to get some kills.
Ah, very cool. Now, how much
Yeah.
has changed from Narwars 1 or Narwars to 4?
So much. So Narwars 1 and 2, it was all me. I was
Yeah.
doing everything. I was editing together player intros. I was tabulating
wow.
points. I was casting, I was hosting, everything was me. Starting with Narwars 3, I had 3 amazing mods, who are my friends. They came in and they modded for me. Panda, Cyber, and Graves came in and modded for me. So they were tabulating all the points. They were checking clips,
Yeah.
checking raid end screens. So all I had to do was host and cast and keep an updated score list,
Ah,
which was
okay.
really, really cool for me to be able to
Well, that's
do.
good.
Yeah.
Now, so is that how you validate what people are doing is by clips, or do you have people watching
So
streams?
so we're not necessarily watching streams as much. We
Yeah.
can uh I mean, this time I think I'm going to have people watching streams.
Yeah.
Um had an issue last tournament with some not necessarily uh fair play.
Yeah.
So we will be watching streams this time, but uh they upload their raid end screen every time.
Yeah.
And then if there's like, 6 people they killed 6 people, and we'll go back into their VOD and make sure that they weren't all headshots because they're cheating.
Right. Yeah.
Um, but for clips that require context, like a betray over VoiP or an
Yeah.
extract with a friendly scav, they upload a clip as well. So
Yeah.
most people, I don't provide battle mods, but most people bring their own, and
Yeah.
they'll sit there and they'll
Oh,
upload
cool.
those raid end screens and stuff like that for them. So this will be a lot more. So luckily we have plenty of staff to do it. So which is
Excellent.
really awesome. So all I have to really do is host and cast, which is really what I love to do.
Oh, that's fantastic. So now, are you all set? Do you got any last minute things that you got to do, or you ready for the tournament Friday?
I never want to say I'm ready,
Yeah.
because I'm sure there's stuff that's going to come up tomorrow that I'm going to need to do. I still need to create some multi Twitch links so that I can just kind of tab through everybody's, but mainly, I think I'm ready. I
Yeah.
think I'm genuinely ready. I had actually somebody donate a really awesome intro video to us, so I just kind of edited some graphics in with that, and that'll go up tomorrow, which is really cool. And then
Excellent.
tomorrow being Thursday, May 26th. I don't know when this comes out,
Yeah.
but chances are when you're watching this, it's out and
It's
the
over.
tournament's
We
over.
know who
But
won. Yeah.
yeah, so that's pretty exciting. Congratulations to the winner. So that'll be really, really cool. And then St Jude actually sent me some mod pins that I can send to our mods, which is really,
Oh,
really nice of them. So
that is very cool. So,
yeah.
what's going to be the toughest thing on Friday? Is there anything like, oh my God, what that you're nervous about?
I'm nervous about duos. I'm
Yeah.
nervous about having multi Twitches work and having people on the same like seeing their streams at the same time, because some
Yeah.
people have different stream delays
Yeah.
and whatnot, and I don't require a stream delay. Um that's what I'm mostly nervous about. I think
Yeah.
everybody usually is just awesome. They
Oh,
do
good.
like a really great job. So I'm just stoked. I love doing it. It's like my favorite thing to do. So
Well,
I'm really, really excited.
I've seen the list of people, and you've got people we know in the
Yeah.
community. It's not just
Yeah.
just people who are you've got good people there. It's fantastic.
Yeah. I feel really lucky. Especially with, we changed the date to make sure that people could make it.
Yeah.
The 28th is a tough day, especially because so many competitors are from NA. So
Yeah.
many people are doing the Evasion stuff, and I want to give credit where credit is due. The reason that people are interested in my tournament is because they were interested in Evasion's tournament.
Yeah.
So let's move it to Friday so that people in EU, they'll still be done by like 3,
Oh
so
yeah.
plenty of time. Um, and so that was really well received by the people doing it, which is really cool. So
Oh good.
um, just excited to have these people be interested. And I
Yeah.
tweeted it yesterday. It means a lot when I see people retweet my tournament announcement tweet and be like, practicing for this on stream today.
Yeah.
That's so cool. You're like, you're practicing for my tournament? There's no prize money. I hope you have fun. Like, just really, I don't know. I feel very lucky.
Yeah, but that's the thing about our community. I love it. Everybody is just, it doesn't matter if you're a, top tier streamer or just starting out. Everybody's all mixed together, and there's tweets back and forth, and it just
Yeah.
feels good.
Yeah, it's fun. Some of the food takes are interesting, but
Yes,
well, we take the bad with the good.
that's true. Yep, yeah. There's some weird community trends that happen. I have to agree with you there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like a big
So
dysfunctional family.
it is, absolutely. So now when you're not streaming, you're not playing Tarkov, you're pushing away from the computer, what are you doing?
Rock climbing, hiking, working out,
Yeah,
playing guitar, endlessly, never Wonderwall. Just anything that I
yeah.
can do to get outside. We're getting a puppy soon, so I'll be outside more often than not, which I'm so excited about.
Do you have a name?
Yes, her name is Timber.
Oh, nice. Very
Yeah,
cool.
very excited.
Excellent. Do you watch any TV or movie or any what things like that?
Yeah, I'm a big Survivor fan.
Okay.
I watched Survivor. I'm missing it. It's the finale tonight.
Oh no.
I'm missing it. That's how bad I want it to be on your
Oh,
podcast. I
I
really love what
appreciate
you do.
that. Thank you.
Um, I was really, really excited when you DM'd me. I was at a bar and I went, "Let's go!" So I was so excited. So yeah, I'm a huge Survivor fan. I watch videos about past Survivor seasons and
Yeah.
Survivor seasons. I watch a lot of pro revenge stuff because it makes me feel good about myself. I camp in streams. I hang out with friends. Do just a fair bit of putzing around on the internet.
Yeah.
It's a fun time.
Cool. Have you ever watched that TV show called Alone?
Is that the one where they're in the isolation queues for
They're
like 50
yeah.
days?
Yeah, it's they get like 10 things with
Yeah.
them and that's it. It is crazy what they go through.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen that. They used to have another show like that. I don't remember what it was, but yeah, I've heard of that kind of stuff. That's terrifying to me.
Absolutely. Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. So, all right. Well, hey, thank you so much for hopping on. I really appreciate it. And
My
before I
pleasure.
go, at the end of all my podcasts, I ask the guests, who you calling out as somebody who needs to come on Tarducks?
Oh, that's a great question. So you've had so many wonderful people on this. Let me think. Who should come on next? I think if you haven't had Mandini on, I think he's a really great
I haven't.
conversation.
All
He
right.
is the current NA solos champion. Mandini should get on here. He's a great guy. We gamed earlier this week. Really fun to hang out with. So yeah, Mandini, get on the
Mandini,
show.
there we go. All right. Well, hey, thank you so much. You have yourself a wonderful night and good luck on Friday.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. Have a
Nope.
wonderful night.